Welcome to the Rustic Garden. Today's October 4th and I'm going to be setting up that pop-up greenhouse there. It's a 3 foot high, 8 foot wide, 4 feet deep greenhouse. It's more like a cold frame. Last year I had a large greenhouse up here. It was 8 foot by 6 feet, something like that. But it was 8 foot tall and was really too big to manage the heat. I had a small space heater in there, but it still really didn't work. And all I was really growing in there was greens. I was growing arugula, endive, lettuces, basically cold weather greens so that I could make salads. So what I learned, and part of what I like about gardening is you get to learn from your experience the previous year. I decided to go with a pop-up greenhouse that's only 3 feet high. I'm going to be able to better manage the heat, the temperature of that greenhouse, plus it's enough space for me to really grow everything I want. Just so you can see, over here is a greenhouse that was similar to the one that I had last year. It's on top of a raised bed and I did a video on that. And that's really out there to keep the tomatoes, the peppers, and the cool weather crops going in that greenhouse really until maybe the end of November. But on this deck, there's a lot going on with this project, so I just wanted to show you what it looks like real quick. And I'll show you the whole process to how I got to here. I'm going to fill up the containers, I'm going to plant the seeds and do all that kind of stuff. But I think this is going to work out. January and February when it gets cold. But my first thought is smaller greenhouse, less space to keep warm, see how it goes. These are all the things that I'm going to be showing in the next couple of videos. I have my containers, which are dark. I have styrofoam back there, which I'm going to insulate the bottom of the greenhouse with. I even have bubble plastic behind there, which I'll build a design to create extra insulation when the colder months come. In this video, I'm going to show you how to pop up the tent. I set it up, show you what it looks like, and I'm also going to make the potting mix I'm using. I'm going to use mostly peat moss. There's some vermiculite back there, and I'm going to keep this a really light, airy soil with the hopes that it's better than sort of a heavy cold soil. So that the warmth is, I'm going to use thermal mass. That's a 5-gallon container that I spray painted black. That's actually what I had my neem oil shipped to me in, and some other containers. So that will absorb heat during the day. It'll radiate some heat back. There are my seeds, my cool weather seeds. I have a bunch of different kinds. I'll do a video on planting them. Those are the tomato seeds I'm actually selling that I harvested from my garden. All 40 varieties germinated really nicely. So today I'm going to show you how to make the potting mix that I'm using. I'm going to pop up the greenhouse, get things started, and I'm going to do about 4 or 5 videos really in a series to show you how I'm attempting to grow greens and similar cool weather vegetables through the entire winter here in Maryland Zone 7. One of the things that I want to do for the pop-up greenhouse on my deck is to create a soil, container soil, that is light, fluffy. I don't want it to be something that's heavy, that holds water, and if it gets cold, it stays cold. Hopefully, the more air that can flow through the soil, a little bit warmer it will get. It will help me with growing the cool weather crops. I don't have a formula, so sometimes people ask me, exact measures and stuff like that. You don't really need to worry about exact measures. You really have to worry more about principles. What I'm going to do with this is use peat moss, one of the main soil mixes that I like to use for containers. It holds a lot of water, it's very light, and it helps really prolong the period of time between waterings when you use containers. So about a bucket, maybe a bucket and a half of peat moss. It's already wet from the rain. I'm going to put in a 40-pound bag of basic premium topsoil. That was only like $2. And then I'm going to add some vermiculite, and probably at least as much as the peat moss. So it's almost like, a third, a third, and a third. This is extremely light, will really aerate the soil. And you don't have to worry, again, about an exact measure or formula. I'm also going to put in some fertilizer. But first I want to mix it up and just mix the peat moss together, the vermiculite, the topsoil. And this feels, a little bit heavy to me. So I'm going to add in some more of the vermiculite. And like I said, don't worry about exact formula. A little more peat moss, and this will be, you know, the primary mix for my container soil for the winter gardening. Now you do have to fertilize it. There's no nutrients in here whatsoever. That looks a lot better. Much lighter. So now again, I'm going to eyeball it. I'm going to add in a couple different things. This is bone meal. This is going to add phosphorus to my container soil. And I'm just going to sprinkle in a couple handfuls. I know it'll drive some of you is crazy that I'm not using exact measures, but let's just say 3 handfuls. And this is a slow release fertilizer. I'm also going to put in some blood meal. This is great for nitrogen. This is organic also, and probably the same amount. 3 handfuls. And that will be enough to help this container soil out. And then I'm going to put in another organic fertilizer. I think this is a 253, and about 3 handfuls of that. And this will all get, you know, well mixed in. I'm not going to, you know, waste your time and show you or have you watch me mix all of that in really well, but that'll all get mixed in. And then I'm going to be using a liquid fertilizer. This is just like Miracle-Gro. Some people don't like Miracle-Gro because they don't like the company, but you can find any liquid fertilizer, and that's primarily how I'm going to feed my plants. I'm going to be growing mostly greens, so they're going to need more nitrogen than really anything else. But this is how you set up the container soil. This is just one basic idea of how to do it. Again, you don't need exact measures, but you can see how loose this is, and I think it's going to be great for winter gardening. I'm going to show you how to set up the pop-up greenhouse. About the container soil, since you're putting peat moss in here, you want to keep an eye on the acidity. You don't have to worry too much. In here is some rainwater. This is just 3 handfuls of lime. Mix it into water. Get that out of the way. And I'm just going to pour this into the container soil. Nothing fancy. Again, you don't need exact measures. I mean, the general principle is if you're using as much peat moss as I did, add some lime to it, and that will help neutralize any acidity in there. So here's the greenhouse. I've not done this before. It looks pretty cool, pretty easy. Let's see if I have enough space in this room. Or enough, yeah, room in this space. One more. There we go. And it's going to look something like this. So here's where the pop-up greenhouse is going to be, and I am a little disappointed because I thought there was going to be a bottom in it. Either way, you know, you deal with what you get. So it's 59 bucks for the pop-up greenhouse. This could actually cover a raised bed in my garden now that it doesn't have a bottom, but I really thought it did. Anyway, I did buy these pieces of styrofoam. You can get 7 pieces for about 8 bucks. And this bubble wrap I got online from eBay, and it's like 50 feet, only cost you 7 bucks shipped, maybe a little bit more, but for anywhere from $7 to $12, you can get plenty of bubble wrap. And my plan was to line the inside like I did here with bubble wrap all the way up here when it got to be later December. So I just want to show you how I set this up. On top is going to be just a green trash bag, dark color, or dark green, dark black, and this will absorb heat. On top of it, or underneath of it, will be 3 pieces of the styrofoam, and that will get duct taped so that it doesn't slide open. And this is how I made really the bottom. I just duct taped the bubble wrap all the way around. I'm going to put on another piece to strengthen it, but just make it so it's enough flap that it comes under here. It will be held down by the styrofoam This will seal it off, and this will really make a nice size greenhouse for growing greens. And in the next video, I'm going to show you this completely set up with the containers in there, and I'm also going to do the seed planting. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please check out my blog at www.therusticgarden.blogspot.com, and also check out my other YouTube videos. Thanks.